Alright guys, welcome back. It's great to have you guys join me again in the workshop. This is going to be part 2 of Let's Make a Knife. So again, this is just a recap, this is the first knife that I've made in about like 3 years. Let's just say 3 years. It's the first knife I've made in about 3 years. It's the first full tang knife I've actually made ever. So while working on this, I'm learning a lot. I'm trying to keep my mind on the processes involved and make sure I do everything in the right steps. There's a lot of things here. So last time I had trouble drilling into the handle. I got some new bits. Hopefully they're supposed to be really good. Read some reviews on them. Supposed to be really good, so I should be able to get through this, even though this is a thicker piece of steel. And the handle, I did leave the handle a little thick. That being said, I still have a lot of stock removal to do on the handle. It's too long and it's too thick for sure, and it's still a little bit too wide for my liking. So I'm going to do some stock removal on that. Probably going to leave a forge finish on the blade. I might take up the bevels just a little bit more. Just clean it up just a little bit. I don't know. I don't really know yet. I'm still kind of feeling it out. I like where it's going though. It's nice. My handle scale, where did I put it? There. So I've got some nice little ironwood scales. They're nothing fancy, but I think it'll fit with the rustic look of this knife pretty well. And do a couple brass pins, just basic. Just gonna be a real basic knife. I don't want to get too ahead of myself and get crazy and start making mistakes by trying to do stuff that's outside of my wheelhouse. However, that being said, the reason I wanted to do this project is because it is outside of my wheelhouse. I just don't want to get over my head. But so anyway, that's the plan. I did notice a couple things too, and I'm not going to keep harping on about all this stuff. I know you want to just get into it. When I was working this, I did notice, I don't know if you can see, but I've got a little bit of funkiness. Just a little bit of a going on in there. So I'm going to have to try to straighten that out. I still have to heat treat, so I have plenty of time. I'm going to put this back in the forge, try to get it as flat as possible. Once my handle's ground, I got to make sure that's nice and flat too. It's pretty good. It's pretty consistent thickness, except when you get toward the end here, I don't even know what I was doing. I was playing around with the end here, and I kind of got away from myself. So I'm going to try to do what I can just with stock removal for that, just to get it nice and flat that way. I think I can on the handle. On the blade, I tried to grind out the wonkiness as much as I could, because it's more just up in the spine. It's not really going down through the whole blade, but the spine got a little folded in there. So I ground it out as much as I could. I think I am still going to have to heat it up and straighten it out. So we'll see. My biggest thing is I want to get the handle drilled out while this is still soft, and get it as straight and even as I possibly can before heat treat. And then we're going to go into fit and finish. We'll clean up this area in here, do some hand filing on that, and some hand sanding on the exposed part of the handle and everything. And so we'll see how it goes. I think we're off to a good start. I like where it's going, and that's that. So alright, so that's it for introductory talk. I don't want to keep babbling on about stupid stuff that nobody cares about. I will say I am going to change up the format of the videos just a little bit. You just notice a few things. I'm doing some logo changes and stuff like that, which, speaking of, thank you Danny Dark Art on Instagram for making my new logo. I added some color to it. I turned it into an animation, so it's like a metal album cover. It's freaking awesome. I love it. Super simple, but it's cool. I like it. So that's that. So without further ado, I'm Hunter Wilkins, and this is Father and Forge. Alright, so now this is the moment of truth. If I can't get through this, then this whole project is for naught. So let's hope this works. Oh yeah. Oh, it's a beautiful thing. We have a hole. That worked. We got a hole. Oh, I'm so happy that worked. This goes to show you sometimes, you know, trying to do things with the wrong tool, you need to reevaluate what you got going on. I think that's where I want this. That made such a huge difference that I'm amazed that just truly made that significant of a difference. Like, I was really having a hard time last week when I was working on this. I was trying to I tried every possible speed combination on my drill press. I tried every single bit that I have, basically. I even tried using my rotary tool. I'd put like a metal engraving bit on it at one point and was digging through, and I made a little bit of progress, but I couldn't get through all the way. So these bits are actually awesome. Maybe I probably shouldn't plug the brand. If I won't. I'm not gonna plug the brand, but you can contact me on Instagram if you want to know what bits those are, because they cut through like butter. So, all right. So now we're moving into stock removal. Got a lot of work to do. I put a fresh 80 grit belt on my my grinder, and we're just gonna have at this thing until we get it right. So hopefully everything goes well and move on to the next phase. So it's not going to look like I'm doing that much to the knife, and that's because I'm not. This is about fine-tuning and cleaning up the design, making sure that in the end, when I go to fit everything together, it's actually going to work. It's going to have a nice flat surface to work with. If there's any deviation in the handle, those scales aren't going to sit right, and there's going to be big gaps. So I have to try to get this as smooth and even as possible. And then with the spine, you know, I could leave it kind of crooked and people might not notice, but every time that I look at it, I'm going to notice. And I don't want, if I ever do sell it, I don't want anybody, you know, having a knife that I made that was, you know, not up to my best standards. And even though I'm not, you know, I'm not an expert. I'm an amateur in my backyard doing this. I don't want to put out crap. I want to try to, you know, do the best that I can with the skills and tools that I have. So, yeah, I'm trying, is what I'm saying. Basically, I'm trying to do the best that I can. And if I notice something on this that I feel like I can fix, I'm gonna try to fix it. So that's where I'm at right now. We just gotta fix the little things that I think I can fix. Alright, we're gonna start just kind of tweaking this thing just a little bit at a time. Alright, now that I've done that, again, very minor adjustments. I think the rest I can finish on the grinder just like with the handle, so I'm going to do that. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a couple thermocycles, and then I'm going to go in for the heat treat on the blade, and then we'll go back into the grinder and finish up doing that. So what I'm doing as I'm thermocycling right now, so basically I'm bringing it up to heat, pulling it out, letting it cool down and just in the air. Basically going to an orange hot, letting it cool to black. What that does is allows the molecules to align in such a way that when I quench this thing fast, it kind of like, the way I understand it, they all kind of like snap into place in just the right way, creating a very fine structure inside the steel, which would give you that hardened state. There's many ways to quench. There's many different schools of thought on how to do it. I try to follow this way with doing the thermocycling, quenching in warm oil, and basically I'm bringing it up to just above to where it loses its magnetic properties. So I got a magnet, I'm sitting here checking it. Every time I'm thermocycling, I'm checking it with a magnet too, just to kind of see where my color range is when I start to get that magnetic, get that magnetism back. So it seems to be just at like that nice cherry red seems to be like the butter zone for me. Working with this 1095 steel, so that's what I'm going off of. I've got a file. The only really way to know is to just do it, and I'm going to file test it and see if I got a hardened edge, and that'll be the tell-all right there. So we'll see what happens. All right, I've thermocycled like 4 times, I think now, so I think that's probably enough. I'm going to go ahead and bring this up to heat, and we're going to go for the quench. So we'll see what happens here. Alright, we do not have magnetism. I've got my magnet there, so I know we're good there. Just want to feel, it doesn't look like it, but this thing is still actually really hot. It's just really bright out here. Alright, here we go. It's like a trick candle. There we go. Alright, let's see what we got here. Alright. That's skating the file. That's skating right along. No biting, nothing. I tested I'll show you the difference. This is the piece that I use to warm the steel. It's the same steel I use to actually make the knife. It's biting right in. It doesn't have that same sound even. I can see it. You can't see it on camera probably, but it's actually cutting into the metal right there on the corner. So I did the same, or not quite the same temperature on this, but this being the same piece of metal, and I know that it's soft. Tells me that this is just floating right along the surface is hard. No soft spots at all. We are golden. Alright, it's back to grinding. Probably my least favorite part, but it's also my my weakest skill in this process. So it's something that I definitely need to do, and I definitely need to keep practicing. Okay, so something I've noticed as I'm grinding this, and if you can see, this little stupid point that I was trying to do actually tapers down some, and that's my fault. I didn't keep it consistent when I was forging it, and now it's become a problem. So I have a couple of options. I can basically try to make the entire handle the same thickness as this point, which I don't really want to do. So I liked how it kind of swelled out toward the back. I've got most of the area from here up is even, so that's a nice plane. There's really no problems there. This side doesn't have much of a gap where that taper is, but on this side, you can see there's a significant gap, and I want to get rid of that. I don't want that in there at all. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this off right about where my hole is, and I'm just going to drill another hole just up a little bit further instead. But I'm going to cut this off just right above that hole. Or maybe, you know what, I'm going to keep that hole. I'm going to cut here. Screw it, I'm cutting it off. I'm just going to make a quick cut right there, and then that's that. I'm not going to record that. I'm just going to do it. It's going to take too long to record it, so you guys will miss that. I'll show you the results. Okay, that worked. That respirator does terrible things to my beard. Ooh. So that's the cut. Here's a nice little aggressive cut. I might round this just a little bit and just clean this up. Might leave that pointy there. I think this is going to line up much better. Oh yeah, that's like dead flat. And now, more grinding. Alright, I've got that pretty much how I like it. Hopefully once the epoxy sets up and everything, it'll fill that gap a little bit. That's something I definitely learned from this project. Definitely need a better preparation and setup in my my preform before I go to grinding. It was something that I just kept chasing, and it's just not getting better. So I'm just gonna have to leave it like it is. Fortunately as well, that little spot that I was looking at earlier definitely is not a crack. So very, very excited about that. I would be so upset if this thing had a crack. I would kill everybody. I'm gonna do just a little bit of file work in this area here. I want to clean this up, and then I'm gonna go ahead and drill through my scales. I was thinking a lot about how to do that because I've never done it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stack the scales, just put the knife on top, and drill through the holes that I've already made in the knife. I don't see why that won't work. If you guys know a better way to do that, please let me know, and I'll use it next time. But this is the way that I figured I could do it this time, so we'll see. That went a little bit more smoothly. So I like to think of myself as a pretty smart guy. Sometimes for a smart guy, I'm a pretty big dumbass. So I had this all planned out the way I wanted it, the way I wanted the scales to line up when I first got them. I thought, oh, that'll look super cool. We'll go in this way with this flow. I completely forgot when I went to drill them that I had that plan. So now I've got one side the grain flows one way, and the other side the grain flows the other way. So not what I was wanting to do, but it's a little late now in the game. So in other news, I dropped my other pen and it went straight through the crack of the floor of my workshop. So there's that too. Luckily, these things are pretty long. So I'm going to measure what I need, and then I'm going to cut another pin out of this one, and we'll be good to go. I got plenty. Alright, I'm going to try to set this up. Go ahead, got everything laid out. This is fast epoxy, so I got to be quick. I don't want to dilly around with it. I just want to get it done, get it on there. We're gonna do it. We're gonna try. Here we go. Epoxy. It's got epoxy all over me. I hate epoxy. I hate it. Yeah. Alright, let's clamp this bitch. Now there's nothing to do but let that set up, and once that's set, we'll get back on the grinder and I'll grind out that handle and we'll see how that works. I think it's okay. I hope it's okay. Whew, that was nerve-wracking. I almost had a freaking heart attack. Okay, now that that's set up, it's time to finish this thing. So I'm gonna grind down the handle, get it shaped to the blade, and we'll go from there. That went much better than I anticipated. I was really nervous about that part because I've never done that style of a fit up before. But I think it went well, and I don't have that much work left to do on it, so pretty excited. So, number one, I forgot how much of a mess making handles is. Camera's covered in dust, my table's covered, everything's dust. I changed clothes, put my my forging shirt on, changed my hat and stuff. So I gotta take a shower. But it's getting late now. It's actually dark now, so I can't really do anything else. I mean, I could, but I don't want to piss my neighbors off, so I'd rather just call it a day. This is what I've got so far. So it actually is going pretty well. It's going pretty good. I was so worried about the gap on the back. I didn't even notice. I ended up with a little gap up here instead. So I'm not happy about that, but there's literally nothing I can do about it at this point. I might be able to try to fill it. Might do that. I might fill it, and then I've got plenty of dust and some wood glue. I can at least pack it full of that, and then I can sand it tomorrow and keep going with the project. But it's looking pretty good so far. This handle's still a little fat. I'm such an idiot too, because I thought that I was so worried about having a handle that was too long. I ended up making a handle that's just a little bit too short. It's fine. You can hold it. You can cinch up on the knife blade. Good little camp knife, but it's I like to be able to, flip them around and do things, and it's not really set up for that, but that's okay. Had a lot of fun today, so hope you guys enjoyed watching this, and I hope you'll join me for the next part of Let's Make a Knife. So I also did not know that was a channel name, so I apologize to Let's Make a Knife. But anyway, that being said, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Check me out on Instagram. Check me out on Patreon. And we'll continue on this another day. But this is it for now. I think it's looking pretty sexy. So, all right, guys. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Goodbye.